Once again, we'd like to welcome everyone to Randy and Candy Yao's Extreme Desire podcast, where we meet, talk, learn, and hear from some of the legends and people in the real world of hunting, where we keep things down to earth with real people.
This week we're going to be with the little firecracker, Coni Brooks. Coni and her husband, Randy Brooks, are the founders of the incredible and innovative Barnes X bullets. Climbing to the top is not always easy, but determination, hard work, as well as an incredible idea can get you there.
Okay, you go ahead.
Okay, today we're here with Coni Brooks, a very dear friend of ours. Her and her husband Randy came up with the Barnes bullets, which if you've studied much about bullets know that they're incredible.
The X, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They are,
Solid
we
copper.
love them. They're the best. But so today we just want to hear a little bit about Coni, how it started, you know.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'd be happy to share. But after we got married, we did quite a few little different things. We actually went and worked on his uncle's dairy farm in Grand Junction, Colorado, milking cows. And they pasteurized and homogenized the milk and bottled it right there for a drive-up dairy. And we did that for about a little over 2 years, and then we kind of thought, maybe this isn't the best thing to do because it's a 365-day a year job, 24 hours, you don't have any breaks. And so then we decided we'd go to New Mexico and work with his uncle there, and he wanted to learn how to make saddles for horses. Mm-hmm. And so we stayed there for a little over a year and wasn't quite happy with that deal. And we knew of a little bullet company that was for sale down in Delta, Colorado. A gunsmith told us about this little company when we were milking cows. And he said, you really ought to go down there and check this bullet company out. It needs some young blood. And it needs to get, going. And we were in our early 20s at that time with, by the way, no business background and really no money to invest in anything like that. No college education. But we ended up going down there, and it was a little two-man shop in the basement of this one man's home. Mm-hmm. And, we have a love for hunting and shooting, and we thought, maybe this is what we need to do. And so we borrowed some money, and I don't know how, to this day, why anybody would lend us money, but they did. And we bought this little company, and we thought the best thing to do would be to bring it back to American Fork, and this little pretty much 800 square foot home. By the way, 400 square feet on the top level, 400 on the bottom.
Oh my.
It was huge.
Okay, and I'm not getting fresh, but I got to move your mic just a touch.
Okay.
Now.
All
I'm
right.
excited. I know.
We want to hear what I have to say. Okay.
No, I'm hearing you. It was.
Okay.
Now
So we had two girls at the time. They were 2 and 3 years old. And we went back to American Fork where we were born and raised. And we had this little house that we had bought when we first got married. We paid $3,500 for it back in 1970. So I had one bedroom upstairs, a kitchen, of course, a bathroom, and the front room. The downstairs was totally open, and we thought that's where we'll put the bullet company downstairs, like 400 square feet, basically 480. And then we thought, okay, what are we going to do with the kids, the girls? Well, they slept in the one and only bedroom that we had, and Randy and I slept on a hide-a-couch in the front room for a little over 2 years like that. And then we thought we were doing fairly good, and so we built a 1,200 square foot building in back of that little house. We put the girls down in the basement, and they had their own bedroom, and we had our own bedroom, and we were really excited. So, it was tough times, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Oh, exactly.
But so we had this 1,200 square foot building in the back, and, it was pretty much Randy and I working. Our two girls actually helped us in the business. They worked from the time they were tiny girls. They had a job to do, and they got paid. Piecework.
Did you check out the child labor laws?
No.
Okay, I just was wondering.
No, and they hold that against me to this day.
Oh, I'm sure of it. But I just wondered.
They got paid, so what the heck?
Right.
They made more money
That's
than we did.
Probably so.
But we had to pay them by piecework, not by the hour, because,
Right,
that was the only way
That's
we
the
could.
child, right.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway, and then we had, occasionally our family would come and help us, and most of the time they came and helped for nothing. Didn't get paid.
Right, just to...
And so, we had a really good support from our family, thank heavens. And then, as time went on, we finally we hired a couple of employees, and of course things went on, and, our business grew a little at a time. It wasn't something that just went exploding.
Oh, no. Right.
I mean, it was a
Took
very, very slow process, and a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication. And Randy and I, we have this saying that we were too dumb to know we couldn't do it. And we just, once we put our mind to something that we're going to do something, we stay there. We don't let it fail.
Right.
We stay there and we finish what we start. And I'm really proud that we had that passion for what we wanted to do, because you just don't give up. You just keep pushing.
Exactly.
And so time went on. It grew little at a time, like I said. And then in the early 80s, Randy was up hunting brown bear in Alaska, and he was sitting on a hillside, and him and his guide were talking back and forth. They go, there ought to be a better bullet, not a jacketed lead core bullet like the ones we were making and like the ones everybody else was making.
Everybody doing the same thing.
He says, we need to have a bullet
Something
that
different.
the jacket's not going to come out of the
Right.
core, and
Yeah,
the jacket's not
keep the
going,
weight
the
retention.
core's not going to come out of the jacket, and the jacket's not going to fragment. And they come up with this idea of, Randy did come up with the idea of a solid bullet, but they would make a cavity inside that would, when it hit something, then it would come back in a 4-petal shape, like an X shape. But, of course, there was no core in it. It was
Correct.
all copper,
100%
kind of like a solid bullet, but nothing inside. So he went back, and this was like in the spring, I believe. I can't remember exactly what year, I'm sorry, but it was in the 80s. So he came back and made some bullets on a lathe. So made the copper, put a piece of a solid copper, made a cavity in, and made scoring marks inside that cavity, which would help it expand back in a 4-petal shape.
Correct.
And he had no idea how it was going to act or anything like that, but he just, common
Testing.
sense. Like I said, no business background, but common sense sometimes come through better than a business education in this particular
can.
case.
In most cases.
Yeah.
Sorry to say.
Yeah. And so he took it back to Alaska in the fall. He shot a brown bear, broke both shoulders, and the brown bear just went, pum. I mean, just like lights out.
Right.
And he thought, wow, we've really got something here. And the bullet exited, and the brown bear was just done. And they thought, wow, this is pretty cool. It worked.
Yeah.
We think it worked. So
It
he
worked.
came home and kind of did the same thing, not really knowing what he did or how he did it. He just kind of plugged through. And then we had an opportunity to go down to Texas and shoot a bunch of whitetail. And so they tried this bullet on whitetail, because here's a big brown bear, and now we're going to try it on, whitetail and see if it would do the same thing on a smaller animal.
Right.
Well, time after time after time, the whitetail, pow, went down. And so we actually had a guy there, and I don't know who it was, but he was actually doing autopsies on these deer.
Uh-huh.
And say like the bullet went back here in the back end of the deer, but up here where the heart, the lung, and liver were, they were like jelly. Like the bullet had like made the internal organs jelly, even though the bullet hadn't gone through the lungs or anything. It was just like gelled. And so they come up with this idea that there's some kind of a concussion type like happening. So when that bullet
Turbulence.
goes in the animal, and by the way, just as soon as it goes in and starts hitting fluid, the bullet just goes and then causes this sucks the animal in and then back out. And they figured that's why the animals were dropping so fast, because it was just like dropping them, and their heart's gone, their lungs gone. It just, I mean, you think about it. If somebody punches you in the gut,
No,
you're like,
exactly. Takes the air
right.
out.
Yeah, and that's what was
It
happening
goes like
to
what
the
again?
animals. Pardon?
How's it do it again? Okay, yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Some sort of
Anyway, okay.
Okay, but then I actually went and did. I shot a whitetail in Texas, and we actually had high-speed video where, you could see when I hit the deer, you could see that what kind of effect it had on the deer, and the deer actually had ripples like that
Right,
when I hit it,
right.
and so that just kind of double showed us that that's what it's doing. It's just causing like this effect
Right.
on
It
them.
increases that vortex, and it just sucks the air out, and boom. I mean, yeah, I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're saying, because that bullet, it passes through, and it creates a wound channel on both sides, which then you have suction from both directions, which can create, catastrophic.
Correct.
Yes.
And, our idea is we like the bullet to exit. Now, you can
Exactly.
go talk to some other manufacturers, and they think they like the bullet to stay in.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's fine.
I've heard of a lot of people. I'm the same way, but I've used your guys' bullets since you first started making them. And I remember reading a little article, and I thought, that sounds cool. So I started using them, and I've been using them since the beginning. And they got better and better and better.
Yeah.
But I just loved that idea, and that's the same way I've always thought. Whether I'm archery hunting or rifle hunting, I want complete penetration complete pass-through if possible. And I've had better luck with that, so.
Well, good.
It's
Yeah.
the way-
Well, I know you guys have been really good supporters, and we were really thankful for that. And, I think it's good for the bullet to pass through because, well, number one, you have a blood trail, too, if it passes through. But I just think it's doing more damage if it passes through. If it only goes halfway in, and especially if you shoot a dangerous game in Africa, which I've done before,
Yes.
you don't want that. You don't want the bullet going just past the shoulder and not getting to the vitals. No,
Right.
no, it's not a good thing. You'll have them charge you, and that's not a good thing. You just want the bullet to go right on through. And I have shot a lot of different types of game in Africa, and I have never had this bullet fail. There's only been one animal that I've had to shoot twice. That was a caribou, and I just shot him really, really far back. And I had to shoot it twice and get another one. But I went to Africa for the very first time in Zimbabwe in '92. Took an X bullet, it was called at the time, and I shot 62 head of game, 61 one-shot kills. And a lot of those weren't perfect shots. I'm first to admit I'm not the best shot in the world, and that's not what I'm touting. I don't get the best shot, but that's where the X bullet comes in. You don't have to hit it just perfect because of that concussion effect. And so that was really a testament to me how well the bullets acted because I shot all types of different sizes of game from all ranges, buffalo clear down to little clip springer, 35-pound clip springer.
Wow.
And my professional hunter says, you can't, and I had a 338, he says, you can't shoot that little animal with a 338, you're going to blow it apart. I go, trust me, I don't think so. The bullet went through that little animal, small entrance, exit hole about the size of a quarter, and left the hide intact. A jacketed lead core bullet wouldn't have done that.
No,
That's
it
cool.
would have
It wouldn't have.
evaporated it.
Right.
And he was right, it would have blown it up.
Of course, yeah.
I have no doubt. So anyway, when he came up with the X bullet idea, that was pretty much what helped propel our company. Now, I will say, it was a bullet that was so far out of the box that a lot of people looked at it and they go,
No,
It's
you're right.
too
That's
weird.
that's what I say. I know
Yeah.
it took a lot of time for you because now you've done something that's totally
So different.
different than everybody else. It's like it's going to take a lot of us to get on board with it. You know,
Yeah.
to me, it made common sense. That's where I'm a common sense guy. I'm looking for something like this, and
well, yeah.
and because I'd have to say before that, the Swift A-frame was the next best one I'd ever found that kept 100% or dang close to it weight retention, even though it had a lead core. But the way however they do it, it stayed together pretty good. It was a pretty good bullet.
Yeah.
Then I found that one, and it's like, this makes sense to me. But it's taken, I've always preached to everybody, think about it, and you show them this, and it sticks together. But now, the X bullet has become, whatever it's become. It's top of the line copper bullet. Everybody's chasing that bullet now.
Exactly.
Well, and for a while, it was just pretty much word of mouth because we didn't have the money to just go and flood the market with this
Right.
great thing that we had. And so it really had to just go by word of mouth, and that's why
Right.
it took so long to get going.
Exactly.
And of course, it wasn't perfect right out of the
No,
right
nothing's
out of the
perfect.
gate.
Yeah,
You
heck no.
it had to have some revisions, and it's very, very, when we make the bullet, it's a very intensive, tooling intensive bullet, and it goes through a lot of stages. And we have had, after a while, we had a patent on it, but when the patent went out, and even a little bit before, we had people trying to copy it,
Sure.
and they were okay, but they weren't working like us. They weren't
No.
willing to put the time and testing into the things that we did. And I will tell you the truth, they still aren't. There's still copies out there, and it still doesn't work as ours. Of course, I'm prejudiced, I'll admit.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course.
Yeah.
But you
But-
should be.
I should be. I'm very proud of that bullet. Very,
Yes.
very, very proud that he had the common sense to do
Yeah,
it.
you guys
And of
did
course, the
great,
names changed over a while. We had the X bullet, and then we called it the triple shock. And so let me back up real quickly if I have a
Oh,
little
go
bit
ahead.
of time.
Plenty of time.
Yeah.
So when we first developed the X bullet, it was just a bullet. It didn't have any grooves on it or anything like that. And the one complaint that some people had is that the bullet was fouling.
Correct.
Okay.
And you went to the blue thing, XL.
Yeah, and then we went to the blue thing, which was the XLC. But I will tell you, a lot of the times, it wasn't the bullet's fault, and I don't care whose bullet it is. A bullet's going to foul if the barrel is a rough cut barrel and not working good. The bullet's going to foul. I'm not saying, I'm not saying that was. I'm not blaming that on everything because the
No,
bullet
no,
did have some
exactly.
things, but barrels have a lot to do with that.
Right.
So Randy, again, came up with the idea of putting grooves around the bullet for the only reason is to help it have somewhere for the copper fouling to go. So it's got grooves on it. Some have 2 grooves, some have 3 grooves.
Correct.
So when the bullet goes down the barrel, the copper will go in those grooves. Well, we go back to, we start shooting these bullets, and they're like so accurate, inherently accurate. And we thought, what the heck's going on? But that, doing those grooves made 2 things possible. Got rid of the copper fouling and helped the bullet be more accurate. So again, trial and error, no education on how to do it, no engineering degree, just say common sense tells me that maybe this might work. And it did.
Exactly.
And so we called that bullet the TSX, and then we had the tip triple shock, the TTSX.
Exactly.
And then we have a lot of little long-range X, and it goes on and on and on and on.
Just great bullets. That's cool.
They really are.
They were cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
But then, so you guys have sold out now and you're kind of retired. And
we sold our company in 2009, December 31st, 2009, to what they now go under Remington Outdoor Company. And the main reason why we sold is we wanted to have the ability of doing factory ammunition with our bullet, because at the time we only just had bullet components. People had to buy them and reload their own, and we always had people saying, I wish I could buy completed ammunition, which we did have other companies loading. Federal loaded some stuff and had the X bullet in it. PMC in the beginning. And so, but we just thought, you know what, it's time to help this company grow to places where we didn't think we could really take it. Yeah. And so we decided to sell, and we had a 2-year contract with them to work with them, and we ended up staying 5 years because this is our baby. I mean, anybody that started a company, a 2-man shop, a man and a wife, or 2 brothers, or whatever it be, you know, it's your baby. You brought it. You brought it up, and it was really hard to make the decision to sell, but we felt in our hearts the time was right. We felt in our hearts this is the company we need to do it with, and so we made the decision to do it.
You guys enjoy life, and I think Randy, that's why he's not here. He's out probably roping today.
Yep.
Loves team roping.
Oh yeah, he loves team roping.
That's his thing. So now
he's been a horse lover from the time he was little, because he actually jockeyed with his grandfather. His grandfather had quarter horses, race horses, and he jockeyed for his grandfather when he was 16. And I am with a Girl and a Gun.
Yes.
Which I love. It's a nationwide organization. There's 90-plus chapters across the United States, and basically it's women teaching women how to be comfortable with shooting all types of firearms, basically pistols, but we go into ARs and shotguns and all kinds of things. And so I was pretty taken with this organization, and I decided I would do my own chapter in Utah. And so I had to learn really much how to shoot pistols, because I'd always been a centerfire rifle gal and a little bit of shotgun. And so it was a learning process for me, but I have fallen in love with pistol shooting. I now own 9 pistols, one being custom made in California. So it's kind of a bad thing. I don't know. But anyway, Randy buys horses. I buy guns now.
You switch directions.
Yeah. And so I have fun. I have my own little chapter, and I have my own outdoor shooting range in Mona, my little tiny rural town that I live in, which we so love, and where Barnes Bullets is now, the manufacturing plant's in Mona,
Utah,
just south of Salt Lake, about an hour and a half. And so we just love what we do, and we have once we get something going, we are very passionate about it. Yes. And we put our whole hearts and souls in it, and so that's kind of where our life is at right now.
That's cool. Yeah, we obviously met you guys through when we had our show, and you guys sponsored us, and now you guys you're helping Candy with the ladies camp some.
My
and that's
goodness,
been great. I think you went to the one last year and had fun, I think.
Oh, I had so much fun. And all the ladies that were there had so much fun. The ladies hunting camp was a real blessing in my life too.
Well, good.
Because I'm so afraid of not having something to do.
And so we keep you busy.
Yeah.
She's
and
busy
so
girl.
I'll always keep myself busy. So I'm thankful for everything in my life, and thankful for you too.
Yeah, she's not very big, but I'm telling you, a grizzly bear wouldn't attack her. First, she's not a full meal, but second, she'd probably beat him to death with a stick. I mean,
no, she had a bear at your house last year.
Yeah,
right on
I had a bear
porch.
come back up on my back porch, my back deck. It's like, So anyway, I thought, no, I can't shoot it. It will just be nice. It was a small bear, but had he touched my little 4-pound Yorkie, it would have been lights out.
Exactly.
You don't touch my dog. But yeah, I've done a lot of really fun hunting around the world. My prized possession is my leopard that I shot in
Yes.
Mozambique in 2014, and I just go into the office every once in a while just to see it and touch it and make sure it's still there, and
It's pretty
that's my
cool.
little prize thing. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's actually a story in itself, and you actually have it on YouTube or somewhere where someone can watch that.
Yeah, they can watch the show because we did a television show. My daughter went with me to Mozambique, and she shot buffalo and warthog and bush pig, and I shot the leopard, which was my main thing. I said I'm going to get this leopard before I move on to anything else, but I got a bush buck, and now you can look at it on YouTube on let's see, Barnes African Leopard Hunt Part 2, the number 2, and it will come up.
What's on number 1?
Well, that's another story. We won't go there. I actually missed the leopard on that one. We don't like that one.
Oh, okay.
No.
We don't know that one.
Like I said, I'm not the perfect shot,
No,
but
everybody-
I missed a leopard
it
at
happens.
60 yards in broad daylight, and I still to this day don't know how I did it. But, that's the thing I like to, like on television shows and such. Let's take that for an example. Most of the time, the television shows the hunter being successful and never missing.
Exactly.
And the guy that was filming me on the television show in Tanzania, that's where I missed the leopard, he goes, "Now, are you sure you want to show this, you missing?" I go, "You bet I do."
Because it's real.
It's real.
It's real.
That's what
And people make mistakes, and you're not going to get everything you want 100% of the time. And any hunter that says they never miss is lying.
Or
Exactly.
they haven't hunted much.
Or they haven't hunted much.
Exactly.
That's
'Cause
correct.
that's what, that's my saying, and people bring it up. Is this, it's not always perfect, but it's always real. In fact, Adam Weathery brought it up because we had a guy come up when Adam was with us and said, "Oh, we love your show, and that saying, what is it you say? It's not always perfect, but it's always real." He goes, "I love that," and he goes, "It's so true, And
Yeah, I love that.
yeah, it's just it's what it's all about. I mean,
Of
including
course.
this right here. I mean, yesterday was doing a interview with Wayne Carlton, and we got all done and realized.
It hadn't hit record.
Oh.
That's just normal.
That's okay. We redid it.
No, we got half of it.
Yeah.
And Wayne's a special guy too. There are so many special people in this
Yeah,
industry,
there
and
really
that's
is.
and that's why I keep coming back, because we've been in it for so long, 30, almost 40 years, and the people in this industry are my family. Like you guys, I
Exactly.
consider you my family. It's
Oh,
a family
exactly.
reunion
Same
when
with
I
you.
come to these
Same with you.
shows.
It is.
Good
Well, that's
people.
the main reason that we even had a ladies' camp in Utah was because of Connie.
Right.
Connie, and then another dear friend that hasn't made it yet due to circumstances in life is Tad Meekum. Hopefully next year she'll
Yeah.
make it. She's gone through
She's-
quite a bit
she's
this year. and
Yeah,
Oh.
she lost
But-
her husband, and
Oh,
she's
yeah.
had cancer.
She came down with
just
cancer
about
at the
to-
same time.
Fought it hard, but
Yeah. So it was
better
been
talk about
tough.
something else.
Yeah.
Well, but but yeah, I know. But it's things like this that just put the magic back in your life, like your
It
hunting
is.
camp and
It
things.
is,
And
yeah.
I mean, we talked to some ladies today. One lady that taught the archery class. I mean, she just teared up how thankful the ladies were that she was there. And she took one lady under her wing and
Felisa,
helped her out.
or-
Yes, Felisa.
Yeah, she's a
And
sweetheart.
when I talk to her, we talk back and forth, and we tear up all the time. It's just you can make such a difference in people's
no,
lives.
it is cool.
And
it is
you-
cool.
and
Exactly.
how-
Even
however
all the
minor.
hours we put into it, that's just it. It's like there's times when you think, "Oh, why am
can't
I
do this
doing
anymore."
Why am I doing this?"
But-
And then you
Oh, yeah.
hear those stories around a campfire, and then you're trying to
Right.
pretend like you're not going to cry, but then
And-
you do, and
or
you're
you-
like, "Okay,
yeah.
this is why we do it."
Yes.
right there.
Oh,
It
so
is.
much.
So-
Oh,
It
so
is.
much.
If you can bring somebody, if you can change somebody's life and give them the skills and the confidence to go on and do something in life, like you're doing with a girl and a gun, you've touched so many lives, and it's like that's what life's about.
It sure is.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
what we want to do. We like to see. We love to bring the ladies in, the kids in, the families in. To the,
Yes.
we want to keep everything real. There's so much fake in the industry and the world
In the
nowadays.
world.
Yeah.
We'd like to keep it real, and
Yeah.
that's
We do real news, not fake news.
I
I
love
know.
it.
Yeah,
I
Trump.
love it.
All right.
There you go. There
Which,
you
by
go.
the way, are a tremendous family. I've met the son and his wife.
Yeah,
and-
he was here last night. At
Oh,
the
yeah.
Don,
Yes.
Don
and
Jr.
you just don't get any more real than that.
That's
It
cool.
was so cool, and they're just down to earth,
Yeah.
great people.
And
Yeah.
he always admits, he says, "Hey, I'm a son of a billionaire, but you know what? You can be wherever you come from.
That's
You
right.
can still. It's just up to you wherever you want to place yourself and what you want to be and how
I
you come
agree.
across to people. And
Exactly.
he's a
Yeah, Don,
true
He was
true man. True
seemed
man.
like a good person. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's out there fighting for us, and we like
Oh,
that.
definitely.
We love that. We need
Oh
that.
yeah. And by the way, we need more sportsmen getting out there and voting. We're lazy. A lot of us are lazy.
It's true.
Well, that's the trouble.
It's true. And they'll say,
Rural-
well, they're really passive and like, oh, yeah, whatever, And you know what? You have got to get out there and speak, because if you don't get out there
Well,
and
that's the
vote, you
problem.
don't support your rights, you're going to lose them.
You'll lose them.
That's everything nowadays, because rural America people, they're just good old boys working, making a living, and we just kind of avoid trouble.
Yeah.
Now, if trouble comes to us, we will handle it. That's what I don't think they get. We will handle trouble, but we don't want it.
We don't want to do
but,
that.
And that's why they haven't, been as good at voting and this and that. But I think they're starting
It's
to come
time.
together to realize we have to stand if we don't want to lose everything.
Well, if every sportsman voted,
yeah, exactly.
we'd never have to worry about what was in our office years ago. We would never have to worry about that.
All
No
the
worries.
every little thing that's going on. Yeah, you got to pay attention and get involved and
Stand
That's
up for
right.
what your rights
and
are.
everybody come together. I don't care if you're a fish, like they said last night at the banquet. It don't matter if you're a fisherman, an archery hunter, or I don't care if you're the purist of whatever, fly fisherman. I don't care what you are. You better all band together. Big game hunters. It don't matter what it is. We're all wanting the same thing. We all enjoy the outdoors.
We have to
Yeah.
preserve it.
I like it all. I don't care.
Me
I'll
too.
catch a fish with anything. I'll shoot an animal with a bow, rifle, muzzle loader. I just use a spear if there's a spear season. I just want to go out. I just want to be out there.
Just want to
So,
be in the outdoors.
Right.
I grew up in the outdoors. We went camping a lot growing up, and it's just my love. I'd much rather be outside than inside.
Oh yeah, it's where you can go and find. You can just be between you and God and nature, and it's healing. It's good for your soul. It's good for everything.
Yep.
Mhm.
And
By
I
the
love
way, that's
animals.
That's the other thing I love about you guys. You're so spiritual and humble, and you know what? That's what it takes. Now I'm going to start crying.
No,
But I love you both for that, for
Oh, thank
even just that one main thing, because I really do.
Yeah.
We appreciate you, but yep. And we love the wild game and the animals. That's for sure. We have respect for them. I think that's what a lot of people don't realize about hunters is how much we really do care.
We respect
Yeah,
them.
we harvest them and this and that, but it's not that we don't respect them with all of our heart and soul. We spend the other months and months of the year doing whatever we can for the animals, and then we
Right.
go out and harvest them, whatever. But we certainly don't let them go to waste and all that. So,
No.
but
Yep.
it's a good
Very
experience.
important.
But,
Very important, yeah.
but
Well,
Okay, I think we're good. We'll probably do this again, hopefully next time with
I
you
hope.
and Randy.
yeah, we'll
Maybe
get
we
him
can
off
get by
that
the house.
doggone horse, or maybe we'll just put the headsets on.
We
him
can
and
just
chase
ride
him,
around with our
chase him-
headsets.
chase him around the horse. There we go. That'd be
yeah,
fun.
he'll be happy with that. Yeah. And then you
Sounds
could interview
good.
my dog, too.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
No, we met Willow once, but we really need to go see her again.
Yeah,
so.
a little 4-pound Yorkie, and she
Love her.
rules our home,
That's so cute.
unfortunately.
Anyways, well, thank you
Anyway,
so much. And
You're welcome.
as we say, it's not always perfect, but it's always real.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed this week's podcast, and remember, it's not always perfect, but it is always real with Extreme Desire. Please always remember we cannot continue without social media these days. Once again, we ask that you like us, Randy and Candy Yao's Extreme Desire, on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And please check out our website, extremedesiretv.com. See you next week, same place, same time.